So, we've been talking a little bit about we were just talking about cheerfulness. We were talking about all these things that life balance can bring for us. And now we're going to talk really about how we live in this age of unprecedented wealth and amazing things that are happening around us. And we're not all ecstatically happy. And this feeling that we can have, we can all be cheerful, we can all be happy, we can all be joyful. We have to learn how to take advantage of that and embrace it. Right now we are more able to enjoy any information that we want. I have a little tablet here that will just let me go ahead and access all the information that was ever in the libraries of Alexandria and more, much more. I can get that at a drop of a hat. I can just poke in a few buttons. I can get hot water. I can use a microwave. I can do all these things. Just imagine that a few hundred years ago, what people had to go through to get a cup of tea. You know, that you didn't even have access to tea. You could be off in some faraway land. Could you get the water? Could you boil the water very easily? All those things that have happened over the last short while, very much in my lifetime, you know, access to a microwave. Imagine when I was young, I was, if I wanted just to have a can of beans, it would have to be cooked in a pot on the stove. And you can choose to do that because you might be doing some more of a leisure activity of making that, or doing it as a productive task, something for your family, or you know, just something for self-care. You may choose that's the way you want to prepare them, but you don't have to, because you can just put them on a plate and microwave them and have them done in a couple of minutes. So if you think about all those changes, those are just some big broad things. We're not going back from those. Our world will keep getting better. Air conditioning, can you just imagine air conditioning if that was available in Moses' time? These things are just incredible technologies that are making our lives better day after day, and we're not going back. We're not going to go back to typewriters from computers. We're not going to go back to you know, any other technology. It's not going to go back. We're going to be able to fly places, or whatever comes next, the better thing that allows us to go across the whole country in just a few hours instead of weeks on a wagon train. Nobody's going to go back and do that except as an exercise and, you know, kind of fun experience. But really, for the rest of us, we're going to continue on this march of progress. Things are going to get better for everyone, everywhere. There's going to be better laws. The laws are not going to go back. They tend not to. So we're going to keep on making this world a better and better place. So here's the challenge for you. To know that this amazing wonder of you being rich, and now even if you are not wealthy or wealthy compared to other people, that does not matter. You'll understand that your wealth relative to an ancient pharaoh of Egypt, or even a king of England, you know, even just 400, 500 years ago, you have so many more things going for you. Automobiles, airplanes, microwaves, computers. Just imagine air conditioning. What would people do with that stuff back then? It would have been an amazing thing for them. And for some of us, we don't realize what a remarkable time we live in right now. So, here's what we get to. Talking in this little section, we're talking not only about that, but now we talk about the extremes of it. So some of us are not happy because we don't know to be grateful for all these wonderful things around us. Gratitude is a concept we're bringing out throughout this program, but I'll just harp on it one more second, because if you could just take a moment and just enjoy all the things that you have, just by, you know, you can get our gratitude list. It is available through Functional Therapy magazine. Just go ahead and get the gratitude list, and you can start listing out. Actually, I have mine available to you. I'll mention it again during this program, no doubt. But you can see all the things that are just wonderful. Imagine a hot shower. It's incredible how rich we are, how much amazing things that we are able to just to tap into just like that. So appreciate it is one thing. And now let's talk a little bit about the imbalance, the imbalance of the trust fund kids dilemma. Now imagine we've got this idea of all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, you remember. But what about all play and no work, right? So if we have a lot of leisure and this is really dominating our lives. If we are, say, the trust fund kid who's getting a lot of money in an inheritance or whatever, some way that might happen, and they still have a little bit of self-care, you know, but they don't really go exercise that much. They maybe consume too much alcohol. They don't have to work. You know, work is not a big deal, and they decide not to work. Not that they don't have to, but that they decide not to. This table becomes very imbalanced towards this leisure, right? So we start to imbalance our platform of function, right? So if the functions are imbalanced, what's that going to mean for the rest of the things? Are we going to be very satisfied? Are those pillars of motivation, social, mental, and physical, are those pillars going to be holding us up as well? Are we going to be able to function as well? If this starts to get imbalanced even more, right, what are we starting to do? We're starting to put more and more pressure on these systems, and we're stressing ourselves out because we are not essentially balancing ourselves. So just as much as all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, some of those people who are all leisure and no work are also dull. There's some essential lack in their lives. So this is the challenge for you, to find the balance, to find this idea of this. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about extending activities and bringing that balance to everything we're working on here. But for a moment, take stock of all the things you have. See if you're in balance. See if you get to work. If you get to work, understand that is a privilege, something that allows you. You can do work and you get paid for it. Now, do you get paid enough? Who knows? It's okay. Are you getting paid? Is this some kind of fair wage? Is it something reasonable? Is it helping you to help your family to enjoy things? Have you been able to go and use that income to go do something that's amazing that would have startled, you know, King Tut, right? It would be amazing that you have some gold sitting in your, you know, gold jewelry or something like that. Wear a gold ring. That is not as much in fashion now because we have more, you know, useful and functional things to spend our time and money on. So we can go to an amusement park, something that's a completely new idea. That imagine an amusement park several hundred years ago, right? That we're actually going to have a roller coaster that goes up and moves us around at incredible speeds. We can experience things today that we could never experience in all of history. So whatever that job is, that privilege of work is allowing you to do it. That privilege of self-care, doing some exercise, the feeling of movement and joy in just activity, that's all there and possible for you. Or you could be imbalanced even in leisure. You could be imbalanced even in self-care, as we've talked about. So think about this for your own life and see what you can do to apply this wonderful gift that is that you are rich. In this, I also refer to Hans Rosling's 200 years, 200 countries. And basically, you'll see this amazing trend in how it has helped to lift the health and well-being of so many people throughout the world. The wealth, the health, the gross domestic product, the gross national product of all these places has been moving up steadily, even in the most impoverished countries in the world. Everyone is more rich now than ever. We are sharing all this wonderful wealth. There are some people with staggering wealth. way above anything that they could ever use or need. But that's okay. It's not about them. It's about you in your moment. You could even be one of those people. If you are, find ways to help balance your structural model here. It is much more important for you to be cheerful and joyful and happy in this world than to be sitting on a pile of wealth. Imagine what you can do with all the wealth that you now recognize that you have. Be grateful for it, and let's enjoy this wonderful life.